باب إثم قاطع الرحم. جبير بن مطعم رضي الله عنه أخبره أنه سمع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا يدخل الجنة قاطع رحم. So we are continuing with the last chapters of the etiquettes of relatives, and as we were learning from the beginning of the book, etiquettes towards the parents and etiquettes towards the other relatives. And now Imam Bukhari rahimahullah is ending off those chapters with this message that if someone does not join those relationships, is not kind to his parents or he's not kind to his relatives, what are the punishments and the sins that person will get? So previously there were some virtues mentioned, some benefits that what would a person get if he has good relationships. Now he's going to talk about things that the sins and the punishments for those who break their relationship. So this chapter, Babu Ithmi Qati al-Rahim, what is the sin for the person who breaks the relationships? Jubair bin Mut'im radiyallahu anhu says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have said that one who breaks the relationships will not enter Jannah. You know, sometimes if you ask someone, a general person, tell me the list of people who will not enter Jannah. So that person might say, oh, the person who does not accept Islam, he will not enter Jannah. The one who does not pray Salah will not enter Jannah. The one who does not keep his fast in Ramadan, he will not enter Jannah. These are the major sins. But this hadith is telling us the one who breaks the relationships, he cuts off the ties with the relationships, even that person is not entering Jannah. Very severe punishment and warning for that person, that all our life we try to do things that will get us entry in Jannah. We try to perform our salahs, we do our du'as, and we do all the good deeds that will get us towards Jannah. And then at the same time, if we break this relationship, these ties, this is not allowing us to enter the Jannah. A question that will come here is that the hadith, everyone knows this hadith, and it's an aqidah of ours, it's our belief that anyone who recites the kalima, anyone who is a Muslim will enter Jannah. It doesn't matter which sin this person has done, he will eventually enter Jannah. So this hadith is telling us the same thing, that the one who breaks that relationship, he will not enter Jannah initially. So it's just like a normal rule for any other sin, that when a person steals or he lies, any sins that a person does, initially he will be put in Jahannam to clean off that sin, and when that sin is cleaned off, he's pure, then he will get entry in Jannah. So likewise, this breaking of relationship is a major sin. He will be placed in Jahannam, in the hellfire, until as long as it takes for that person to be clean from this sin, and then he will be entering into Jannah. So this is talking about initially, in the beginning, this person will not be allowed entry in Jannah. Initially, he will be put in Jahannam, and then afterwards, whenever he is clean and pure, then he will be entering into Jannah. So this is the first hadith, لا يدخل الجنة قاطع رحم. The one who breaks the ties, who breaks the relationship, he will not be entering Jannah. Second hadith, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah brings, أبو هريرة رضي الله عنه يحدث عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الرحم شجنة من الرحمن تقول يا ربي إني ظلمت يا ربي إني قطعت يا ربي إني فيجيبها ألا ترضين أن أقطع من قطعك وأصل من وصلك. Similar hadith came in the past. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said that relationship is the Arabic word for relationship is rahim in Arabic. The word in Arabic is called rahim, rahamim. It means relationship. So Prophet ﷺ is telling us the word rahim, which means relationship, is driven from the word Rahman. Same letters. Rahman also has Ra, Ha, Mim, and then Nun at the end. So the three letters are common. Ra, Ha, Mim are common. So Allah, Prophet ﷺ is saying that the word Rahim is driven from the same word Rahman. So it is made from Rahman, is made from Allah's, one of the names of Allah. So Prophet ﷺ is telling us that there is a connection between this relationship and Allah. There is a strong connection between these two. And then Prophet ﷺ says, تَقُولُ, it will say, meaning on the day of Qiyamah, this relationship will come on the day of judgment. Imagine, this is not our salah coming on the day of Qiyamah, our zakah coming. It is this relationship that will come on the day of Qiyamah, and it will speak directly to Allah. It will say, Ya Rabbi, inni dhulimtu, O my Rabb, I have been oppressed. Who's saying this? This relationship. In this dunya, we may think that it's not any living being, it cannot do any harm. No, on the day of Qiyamah, it will complain about us, and it will speak directly to Allah. O my Rabb, I have been oppressed. Ya Rabbi inni quti'tu. O my Rabb, I have been broken, I have been cut off from people. Ya Rabbi inni. The Prophet ﷺ, it will keep on complaining, different complaints. Finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will respond to this relationship and say, أَلَا تَرَضَيْنَا أَنْ أَقْطَعَ مَنْ قَطَعَكَ. Are you satisfied with this, that I will break off with whoever breaks from you, and I will connect with whoever connects with you? And this hadith ends here. The other hadith that we read previously mentions that the relationship then responded again to Allah by saying, Yes, Ya Rabb, I am happy with this, I'm satisfied with this. The question might come here is that how will this relationship speak? It's not a living being. How can this relationship, this rahim, speak? The scholars mentioned that it could either be that on the day of Qiyamah, everything will be given it will be given shapes and forms. So this relationship will also have a form and a shape, and it will come in that shape and speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And previously we also read that relationship will also have a tongue. It will have a mouth, and it will speak with its tongue to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is no objection here that how can a relationship physically, it's not a living being, this matter of relationship, how will this speak? So it will speak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it a form and a shape, and it will have a tongue. Some scholars mention that it will have an angel with it that will speak on its behalf. So either way, either the angel will speak or this relationship itself will speak, but it will speak and complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of anyone who has done wrong to it and broken its ties and have done wrong to it. This is hadith number 2. Hadith number 3, another warning that is mentioned for breaking the ties. And this is also by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. سعيد بن سمعان رحمه الله قال سمعت أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه يتعوذ من إمارة الصبيان والسفهاء فقال سعيد بن سمعان فأخبرني ابن حسن الجهني أنه قال لأبي هريرة ما آية ذلك قال أن تقطع الأرحام ويطاع المغوي ويعصى المرشد. Sa'id bin Sam'an says, he's a tabi'i, he says that I heard Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu seeking protection from two things. I seen Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu seek protection from two things. Number one, from the leadership of children and the leadership of sufaha, the ignorant ones, the fool people. That I seek protection for a child to become a leader, and I seek protection from a fool person, an ignorant person, to become a leader. So Abu Hurairah is seeking protection from these two types of people becoming leaders. Let's go over the translation first. Sa'id bin Sam'an, who is the narrator, says that later on Ibn Hasan al-Juhani informed me that he had asked Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, what are the signs for this? Meaning, how will this type of situation take place, that children will become the leaders and the fool people will become the leaders? How will this even happen? What will lead the situation to this matter? Because of course, a 10-year-old becoming a governor or a president or some leader, of course this is something that is not acceptable. So what are the things that will lead to the situation where children will start to become leaders? and the fool people will become leaders. What will lead this towards this? So he says that I asked Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu this question. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said three things. When these three things happen, this situation will take place, that children will start to become the leaders, and the fool will become leaders. What are those three things? An tuqta al arham. The relationships will start to break off. This is number one. When people start breaking their relationships, this is number one. Number two, وَيُطَاعَ الْمُغْوِي, and those who are wrong, misguided people, they will be obeyed and followed. And number three, those who are guiding, murshid, the ones who are on the right path, who are guided people, they will be disobeyed. So when these three things happen, that people will break their relationships, people will obey the wrong people, and people will disobey the right people. When this situation takes place, then remember that the children and the fool people will start to become the leaders. And why is Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu seeking protection from children and sufaha, the fools, to become the leaders? And of course the answer is very simple, and that is children are non-experienced, they don't have enough knowledge, they don't have enough experience of taking care of any matter. So if they become leaders and responsible for a certain matter, of course that matter will not be perfect. It will not be perfect. It will be ruined. It will be destroyed. It's just like, for example, there's a store. Any example, you take a store and you tell a child that you are the manager of the store and you run the store. Of course, then will the employees come on time? Will this child be able to manage everything in the store? The store will not be running the way it should if this child will be the responsible and manager of the store. So likewise, any matter, whether it's any situation, when you give the responsibility to the children, those who are non-experienced, the matter will not be perfect and it will be ruined. So Abu Hurairah was seeking protection, that I don't want a child to become the leader and the amir, the governor, the king, the rulers. I don't want children to become, because then the whole country, the city, the country, the world will be going towards destruction. It will not be perfect anymore. And likewise, sufaha, those who are not intelligent, the fool people. Likewise, they don't have information, they're not knowledgeable, they don't have experience, they are dumb. If they take leadership of certain matter, that matter will also not be perfect, it will be ruined and destroyed. So Abu Hurairah was seeking protection. I don't want to see children and fool people become leaders. And what causes this matter? How will children and fool people become leaders? Is by these three things, that when the relationships start to break off, when the wrong people are being obeyed and the rightly guided ones are disobeyed. In fact, there is a famous hadith, one of the signs of Day of Qiyamah, one of the signs of Day of Judgment. Prophet ﷺ was asked that when will Qiyamah take place? Prophet ﷺ asked that person that, are you prepared for it? And he said, no, I'm not. Then Prophet ﷺ mentioned the sign that one of the signs of Day of Qiyamah is إِذَا وُسِّدَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ, when the responsibilities are given to those who are not deserving of that responsibility. So for example, someone that's been made a leader, a governor or a mayor, or he's made a leader of any matter, if he is not capable, he's not suitable for that position, making him the leader of that, this is a sign of Qiyamah. When this starts to happen, and we see this sometimes many places in Masjid especially, that those who are responsible for the Masjid, the leaders, the president of the masjids, there will be those who are professions in the worldly point of view. There will be a doctor, or there will be some higher post in worldly wise, but they're given responsibility of running the masjid, whereas they have no information of the rulings of the masjid and those matters. So those who are not capable, those who are not suitable, making those people responsible, this is a sign of qiyamah. So this is one of the major consequences, major warning or sin for breaking the ties, that this is what it leads to. Breaking the relationship leads to government and officials and the rulers as those who are not experienced and not capable of being the leaders. And then Imam Bukhari rahimahullah brings another chapter, and it's continuation of the previous one. One of the punishments for breaking the relationship in this dunya. See, normally every sin that a person would commit in this dunya, the place for where he will be given the reward or punished will be in akhirah, of course. This is not a place where a person is judged for his actions. This is a place where everyone is just doing their amal, their actions, and on the day of qiyamah, then he will be resurrected and he will be judged according to what he has done, the good deeds and the bad deeds. But there is certain sins, this is very severe, there's certain sins in this deen that if a person does those ones, even in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes that person. There are two sins like those, that a person, if he does those ones, not just in akhirah, of course in akhirah, that is a real main place where he will be given the punishment for, but even in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes that person. What are those two sins? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said, "Ma min dhanbin أحرى أن يعجل الله لصاحبه العقوبة في الدنيا مع ما يدخر له في الآخرة من قطيعة الرحم والبغي." There isn't any sin. Prophet ﷺ saying, there isn't any sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the punishment for in this dunya, while giving the punishment for in akhirah also, except two sins. There isn't any sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the punishment for in this dunya, while giving the punishment for it in akhirah, except two sins. Number one, قطيعة الرحم, breaking the relationships. This is such a sin, and now we can understand that salah is not mentioned here, zakat is not mentioned. Those things that a person will think that missing those and not doing those is a major sin. Lying is not mentioned, cheating is not mentioned. This qati'at al-rahim is such a major sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so angry with that person that not just in akhirah, even in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to punish this person. Number one is qati'at al-rahim, breaking this relationship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish that person in this dunya. And there's so many stories and incidents of this happening where a person had broken their ties with the relatives, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had punished that person in this dunya. Sometimes we see a person just became poor. He had a large business, he was wealthy, and he was living a happy life in this dunya, luxury life in this dunya. And when we see this person starts to break off the ties with the relatives, his business starts going down, his wealth starts decreasing, and this person loses everything in this dunya. So there are different types of punishments Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, and we see many different types. And faqr and poverty is one of those types of punishments, that a person is extremely wealthy and he becomes extremely poor because of this sin of breaking the relationship. And second sin, wal baghi, doing dhulm, oppression, doing wrong to someone, doing dhulm to someone, oppressing someone. This is another major sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya punishes the zalim, the wrongdoer. Of course, the punishment in akhirah is there for that person too. And then one more hadith Imam Bukhari rahimahullah brings, Babun laysa al-wasilu bil mukafi, in the chapter here is that the one who is equal with his relatives, and this is very important, that the one who is equal with his relatives, he is not considered wasil, he is not considered the one who's connecting the relationships. You know, this is, like I said, this is the ending chapters of joining the relationships. What Imam Bukhari rahimahullah is focusing here, and he's recapping everything that we learned in the past, and that is, a lot of virtues we studied about connecting and joining the relationships. There's so many virtues that we learned in the past of joining those relationships. Who is considered the one who joins a relationship? What is the way to find out that are you joining the relationship? So who is the wasil? Who is the one who's connecting and joining the relationships? The hadith, the chapter starts off with the one who is equal is not the person who is joining. Meaning, what does it mean by being equal? So someone gives you a gift and you give him a gift. Someone talks to you happily, smiling face and enjoyingly, and you talk to him happily too. This is not connecting the relationship because you're being equal. You're doing exactly what he's doing. Joining the relationship is, the hadith tells us, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ليس الواصل بالمكافي ولكن الواصل الذي إذا قطعت رحمه وصلها, that a person who is equal with one another, he's not the one who is joining the relationships. ولكن الواصل الذي إذا قطعت رحمه وصلها, however, the one who joins the relationship is that person with whom others break the relationship and then he connects it. So what is the wasil? Who is the person who is considered to be joining the relationship? Is that person from whom others are breaking off and he goes and connects with those. So someone is upset with him, his relative is upset, he does not talk to him, he does not want to do salam to him, he does not want to see him, meet him. And this person, besides all of that, he still goes and he does salam to him, he talks to him. This is wasil. So someone who's breaking it with him, he's connecting with that person. This is extremely difficult. And a lot of people give up at this position. And this is, and we can see this. This is not easy because how much a person can do sabr. This is a test for sabr too, that every time you go and do salam and he turns away. And people are noticing that this person is talking to his brother and his brother just ignores him and walks away. He does not even look at him. So in that situation, still connecting to that brother, still connecting to that relative. Even though he's breaking it, you are connecting. This is who's considered to be the wasil, the one who connects, joins a relationship. And all of those virtues that we studied in the past are for this person who's connecting while others are breaking off from him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to always be connected to our relatives, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being those who break the relationships. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to act upon all of these ahadith. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.